Hello, my name is Kate Montgomery. My nickname is Sunny. I'm originally from Southern California, and I began my holistic health practitioning degree and career back in the San Diego area. In 1971, from 1984, I was a respiratory therapist for those 14 years. And then in 1984, I met a massage therapist who I was playing volleyball, and I was ready to get out of Western medicine. And so she suggested that I go to some of the local schools in San Diego, and I did. And so I went to IPSB, International Professional School of Bodywork, and I was 35, and I had never had a massage in my life. And I remember just listening to these wonderful people talk about holistic health and what it did when you worked on the body. And then we had the time that we could get on a table. And so I did. And I remember that the minute he put Wally, his name was Wally, he was the director of the school, put his hands on my head and my neck, and I felt home. I knew this is where I was supposed to be. After the 30 minutes of him doing that, I signed up for their holistic health practitioning program and never looked back. I quit respiratory therapy 2 months later and went on. And from there, I moved into sports massage, which is in San Diego. It was probably one of the best things to do because I needed a career that would support me and my daughter. After 30 years of doing massage therapy and living in San Diego, I have accumulated many different techniques. Many of them, such as specialized kinesiology, which came out of applied kinesiology and Touch for Health, which I studied, and then naturopathy to help with different natural therapies, and then came NES. NES was in 2016, excuse me, and I had been looking for something that I could use to scan the body because I had a Rife machine, and I knew that frequencies were something that were part of the vibration of the body for health. And when you were dysfunctional, when the body's dysfunctional and out of balance, the frequencies are out of balance. So I went searching. And a friend of mine in Illinois, Chuck, was already using NES, and I asked him who his sponsor was. And so he turned me on to Lisa Cook. And Lisa met me halfway from Chicago, because I was in Indiana at that time. And she did a scan on me. I saw the lights turn on because I saw the whole system on all different levels that looked at every part of the human body, from nutrition to environmental to mind, body, to the energy fields. All of it was there. Chakras, Chinese medicine, I mean, it was all there. So it gave me a much clearer picture of the body when I would work with clients. But specifically, I was looking to help my grandson. My grandson Chase was in grade school, had a learning disability. He had problems with audio and visual. And I wasn't giving up and trying to help him. We could do cross crawl, we could do everything in order to resync his brain, but it wasn't enough. So when I first scanned him, one of the great things about NES was when I got into the brain, here showed audio and visual out of sync. That was the big thing. So I showed it to him and I said, see, here it is. Here's exactly what's going on with you. So I started him on Infoceuticals, BFA, ESR, and a whole bunch of others, and he stayed on it for probably, 3 to 6 months. Today, Chase is now soon to be 14, and he's fine. He has no learning problems. He understands everything, and that's the goal. That was the goal, is to help him navigate school, and he did. So I'm very happy with that part of NES. Over the years, I have many clients, and each of them has many different issues that they deal with. Most of it is stress. Stress alone, even if you have a disorder that takes your health into a different place and it's not as great for you, but the stress contributed to it. So by scanning them and showing them how it affected every aspect of their body was amazing. So one of my clients has issues with musculoskeletal. She's had her ankle replaced, she's had her hip replaced, she's had many things. So one of the things I try to do is help her with pain, help her with the stress of the body, falling in and out of balance. And I do everything remotely. I have seen her in person many times when I travel to Colorado, but I do it through the phone. One of the great things that I found recently that I just put into my miHealth device was the MRs. The matrix rejuvenators, and they are phenomenal. One of the things that I liked so much about them was it told me more about the function of the body wave, and if it is broken, then the body goes out of sync with its vibrations and its frequencies. By reestablishing the MRs, that is the first place I start to resync the body, to fix for pain, any of it, it starts with the MRs. So I have my lady, and we do her once a week with the MRs. It's the best she can do, but she stays out of pain, she functions better, and it works. I'm a specialized kinesiologist, which means that it sprang from applied kinesiology and Touch for Health associations. When you are a specialized kinesiology, you're able to, through muscle testing, assess different aspects and different levels of the body's health. When I look at a client, first thing I do is I talk to them, but I also want to know if their brain is in sync with the rest of their body. Are they confused, or does it take them longer to make a decision? But one of the fastest ways to assess them is to ask them to march in place. You don't tell them how to march in place. You just find out if their body understands, if their brain gets it. And if they don't, that also means that they're switched. But the first thing you do is when you ask them to march in place, and they'll start, that if they move their legs up and down with their arms right to left, left to right, in full swing, just like in a marching band, that's great. But most people start with just moving their legs and not their arms. And that still tells me that they're switched. So a good story that I want to impart on this is very, very important for every practitioner of NES, because when I find this, some of the infoceuticals that I use is obviously BFA. I always scan them, but BFA always comes in because you have to look at the huge body wave, find out if it's in total sync, or in polarity, and also if their circadian rhythms are working. So looking at the different vertical and horizontal layers too is very important. But that's what switching does, is it switches off everything. So any kind of process and dysfunction and health concern can switch the brain off. Case in point, in sports massage, I was up teaching a class in Oregon one year, and I had all sports massage therapists in there for this class. So the first thing I did is I got everybody in a circle and I asked everybody to march in place. and everybody was doing it except this one woman. And she was doing what's called a homolateral walk, which meant that her left and right leg, left arm were going up, and right arm, right leg going up. She was totally switched. And turns out that she had been in an auto accident 5 years previous, and she had healed from it. But she said, I never felt right. It's taken me longer to do things. I don't know half the time which way is right or left or anything. So I did the technique on her to correct it. And then as soon as I did it, which took like nothing to do, seconds, she stood up and I asked her to march, and she went right into the left, right, right, left. And everybody saw it. And so it was a great demonstration to show that you have to resync the brain in order for the health, in order to everything to work. And that includes with NES. If you have your clients who have issues with their health and well-being, you always want to make sure that the brain is in sync with the body. I've had an amazing career. It spans almost 35, 40 years, which is almost unbelievable to me. But I look at everything that I've learned in this time frame that has helped every client that I've ever worked with, every athlete, every layperson, anyone that had an imbalance, I was able to work with because of the tools that I found that were ideal for what I did. The specialized kinesiology, muscle testing, touch for health, naturopathy, herbology. It goes on and on of everything that I've done. And then the last one was NES. In 2017 or 16, I'm not even sure anymore. It just seems like I've had it forever. I love NES because it gave me the opportunity to really scan and get down to how I could really look at the human body's energy source and what was really out of sync and out of balance on my clients. Along with biochemical and my hair analysis, I use NES to see what that's going to show me. Along with everything between the books that I've written, the Montgomery method, all is part of my legacy to help every client, to help every practitioner see what is possible. NES, its Infoceuticals, everything has been a blessing for me. And I thank Nikki, who did Energy for Life, who I haven't even mentioned, but Energy for Life is probably one of the best coaching platforms I've ever seen. I got certified in it. I love it. It is one of the best things I can use to educate my clients so they can learn about themselves and their self-care, and helps them take responsibility, which is what I've always done. I always like self-care because I think everyone needs to learn how to, especially now in this day and time, how to take care of themselves. Everybody's a remote worker these days, so you have to take the time to learn. And that's what my books have done, and that's what my website teaches you, is how that you can access yourself through remote work. And that's what's so great about NES right now, is that we have a voice scan. I don't have to use a hand scanner anymore. I can plug my clients into the computer, and they can, from the safety of their home, do a scan. And then we can talk via WhatsApp or Zoom or anything in order to how we can put something together to help them.